This is Steven from KiwiBox.com. Today we are talking with Gabe Dixon of the Gabe Dixon Band. What's going on, Gabe?
Not too much. Driving around Los Angeles.
Awesome. You're about to release your third studio album, which is self-titled. Why wait until now to title it The Gabe Dixon Band?
I think it's because the three of us really see this as our debut album, even though we've had a couple before. We've never done an album, a studio album, as a trio, and we've really kind of honed in on a sound as a band and kind of matured as a band. I feel like this is kind of a beginning in a way for us.
Well, aside from being a trio on this album, how does this album differ from previous releases musically or producer-wise, in your opinion?
Well, you know, with our first album, we were still very much close in time to school, and if you know what I mean. So we had a different we had a different focus in the band. The focus was a lot more on improvisation, a lot more on solos. We had another member of the band who was really just played the saxophone, and I feel like in the last few years, my songwriting has really developed, and the three of us have really gained an appreciation for great songs and great tight rock arrangements. And this producer, our friend Neil Capolino, who produced the record, really helped to encourage that and bring that out of what we do. So that's kind of what's going on lately.
Do you feel that the chemistry or vibe was different while recording this album without having Chandler, your previous sax player, there?
It was very different, yes. This band is a lot more efficient now, being really just a rhythm section. We can focus grooves. We can focus more on getting really great arrangements that support the song and the vocal. And so I think it's been a lot better as a trio for a lot of reasons. I mean, our sax player was a great musician, but ultimately I think all of us realized that he wasn't. We needed to be a power trio, you know?
Yeah. So you recorded the album in Nashville. Did the location influence the sound at all?
Definitely. I mean, I grew up in Nashville, and I live there now, and a lot of my friends are there, and a lot of my songwriting partners that I wrote songs with for this album was there, and it was nice to be able to, you know, the first album we did, called On a Rolling Ball, we were staying in L.A., far from home. We'd go to the studio, and it was great, but there's nothing like being able to go home and sleep in your own bed after a long day of recording. Go to your favorite breakfast spot in the morning and this and that. And the studio we recorded in is one of the best studios in the country, you know, so we felt really fortunate that we got to work there. Blackbird Recording Studios is the name of it.
Yeah. I read that you wrote way more songs than the 12 that appear on the final track list. How did you whittle down the potential tracks to the ones that you ended up including on the final cut?
Well, it was a lot of these songs have been floating around for 3 years or so. So I think I just kept accumulating more and more songs, and when it came down to it, we had kind of figured out which ones were going over well live and which ones weren't. And so we had it whittled down really to like 16 songs before we went in to record. And we could only really afford to record 14 of them. So this was a very difficult process, honestly. We recorded, we just kind of had, I sent it around to people I knew, some of the songwriters I wrote the album with, to say, hey, what do you think of these songs? Which ones are the best? I asked my band, I asked my managers, I asked our A&R guy at the label, and between all of us, we kind of figured out which ones were going to make it.
I listened to an advance of the album, and I heard a lot of Paul McCartney influence in your voice, and then I happened happened to read that you played keyboards on his 2001 album, Driving Rain. Do you think that he's influenced your vocal style, having already worked with him?
Absolutely. I mean, he was really he and the Beatles were one of the first influences I ever had as a kid in music, and so I already was influenced by him. But then getting to work with him and watch how he works just really had a profound impact on me. He's so talented, and I just love his sort of way of expression, you know. And I'm sure by default I picked up a few things from him just watching him work every day for 6 weeks. You know?
Yeah. What is it like working with someone who's accomplished so much like him? Is it intimidating, or was it an educational experience?
It was very educational. It was a little intimidating at first when I first met him, because it was such a surreal experience meeting this person that I'd seen on TV and everywhere for my whole life, and then finally meeting him. That was a very strange experience. But Paul is I think pretty used to people wigging out a little bit when they meet him, you know. So he's gotten very good at bringing people down to earth and making them feel comfortable, you know. So he was just a very kind and generous and understanding person. And after a few days, I was totally just in the vibe and having a great time.
Yeah, it sounds like it was fun. Back to the Gabe Dixon Band. You're on a huge U.S. tour right now. How's it been going so far?
Oh, it's going great. I mean, we started with some radio promotion, and in September, well, I don't know when this is going to air, so I don't know if I should say dates or what, but is this a radio thing?
No. It's just going to be put up on YouTube, like
Okay.
as an audio interview.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, we started tour in September with Justin Nozuka, who's a great artist from Canada, and we're really excited for that because it's going to take us all over the U.S., Northeast, Southeast, Midwest, West, and so that's going to go all throughout the fall, and I'm sure we'll jump on another tour after that. So.
That's cool. I see you have a hole in your touring schedule for the day that the album's being released. What do you plan to do that day?
Oh, it's a surprise.
A surprise?
No. Actually, we're going to be doing an in-store performance at Grimey's record store in Nashville, Tennessee, which is just a really, really great independent record store in Nashville. And Grimey is a friend of ours, and we just thought it would be appropriate to do an in-store on the day of the release, and people can buy the record and see us play, and we'll have a little celebration.
Cool. Is there anything else you want people to know about the upcoming release?
We've just put a lot of ourselves into it, and we feel really proud of it. So I hope everyone enjoys it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for talking with me, Gabe.
It's my pleasure. Thanks a lot.
Great, and have a good tour.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, Nate.